BonerCoinToken's life advice hotline. We're here for you. We're here for you.
The topic of today's BonerCoinToken's life advice hotline is the elevator dilemma, breaking the awkward silence. Stay with us for the next 45 minutes and you will learn all you need to know, the skills you have always desired, and the skills you desperately need to not just survive every elevator encounter, but to thrive triumphantly every single time. Welcome back. Or if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the wildest yet most helpful ride of your life. You've just stumbled upon BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline, where I, your resident expert in life's weirdest predicaments, give you advice so carefully crafted that you'll either end up laughing, learning, or getting yourself into a situation that'll be way more fun than you expected. Or you might get arrested. Whatever happens, it happens because you were in control of your life, in control of your situation, and in control of other people's free will. Now, for all of you regular listeners out there, you know how we do things around here. But for the fresh meat, let me introduce myself. My name's Dick Fore, known to have big thoughts and short solutions. While I might not have a PhD in psychology or, any actual professional qualifications, I've got something far more valuable: experience. Experience in making life better in ways you never thought possible. Now, just to make sure we're all on the same page about why you're taking advice from me, let me run through my impressive list of credentials, because if you're tuning in to BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline, you need to know you're in the hands of a professional, just maybe not the professional you were expecting. For starters, I've successfully microwaved a hot pocket without the middle staying frozen. Let that sink in for a minute. That's the kind of patience and precision you can't teach. It's learned and earned, and it's what you get from Dick Fore. But wait, there's more. I've navigated rush hour traffic with a GPS that thinks left and right are more like suggestions than actual directions. And somehow, I live to tell the tale. Honestly, it's a miracle I'm still here. Or does Dick Fore have something that no one else does? I think we can all agree. It's the latter. And I'm here, willingly, to help you achieve the same level of excellence that this Dick enjoys. Oh, and let's not forget my crowning achievement. I once gave a TED Talk to my cat about the benefits of morning stretches. I mean, sure, she didn't seem that impressed, but let's just say, by the end of it, I was doing all the talking and she was doing all the stretching. So who's the real winner here? I slam dunked that cat with subliminal and golden TED Talk advice. Dick can teach you to do the same. Are you going to dabble with Dick? Full-on grasp Dick for the ride of your life? Or forget about Dick and move on to something less gratifying? Again, you have the power. So yeah, I think it's pretty clear. I'm more than qualified to guide you through some of life's more delicate situations. Today, we're tackling a classic dilemma, one that's so common, yet people freeze up when it happens. A daily, stage fright, so common, and yet so alien. I'm talking about elevator silence. Real quick, if you like what you are getting into here, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell on the BonerCoinToken Productions YouTube channel. We're always putting out the content that everyone needs. Okay, back to elevators. You know the drill. You step into the elevator, and suddenly you're trapped in a tiny box with complete strangers. There's that awkward tension. Everyone's standing stiff, pretending the little numbers above the doors are fascinating, like they're watching the final episode of The Bachelorette. Maybe someone's coffee breath is filling the air, or there's that one guy who's breathing just a little too heavily. It's like way too sensual, but is it intentional? Or is he just a dirty, gross mouth breather? You can feel the weight of it, can't you? It's palpable. No one's saying a word, but there's a conversation happening. It's just all happening in your head. Today, I'm going to show you how to break that silence in ways they'll never forget. Because sometimes breaking the ice means cranking up the heat. So buckle up. because we're going deep into the world of awkward elevator rides. And let me tell you, the deeper you go, the more shallow it gets. Now I know what you're thinking. Mr. Dick Fore, why would I want to make an already awkward situation worse? Well, my friend, that's where you're wrong. This isn't about making it worse. It's about making it memorable. Think of it as leaving a mark on their day, using my advice, a dick mark, if you will, something they'll be talking about long after that elevator ride is over. Sure, they might be confused, a little shocked, maybe even slightly concerned. But, hey, no one ever remembers the boring elevator rides, right? So, before we jump into my foolproof techniques, let's set the stage for what you're about to experience. Because the truth is, life is full of awkward moments, and the only way to survive them is to embrace them and turn them on their head. Ride them all the way to the top floor, or whichever floor you get off on. By the end of today's episode, you're going to have a toolkit of completely appropriate, wildly on point, and ultimately unforgettable ways to handle elevator silence. We're talking strategies that will take you from being the quiet, uncomfortable bystander to the star of the show, the person they'll be thinking about and silently admiring for weeks after that ride. Trust me, bro, once you've heard what I've got to say, you'll never look at an elevator the same way again. In fact, you might even start hoping for awkward silences, just so you can whip out one of these bad boys and leave a dick mark, without ever having to say a word about it. But hey, before I get too far ahead of myself, let's make this a conversation, shall we? If you've ever found yourself in an awkward elevator moment and didn't know how to handle it, hit me up. I want to hear your stories. Whether you froze in silence, made an embarrassing comment, or did something you probably regret, now's the time to confess. No judgment here, only laughter. Send me your stories, your questions, and maybe, just maybe, I'll give you some bonus advice that'll make your next ride even more entertaining. You can slide into my DMs on Twitter, hit me up on Instagram, or email me directly at dick@dickknowsallaboutdick.com. You know I love hearing from you. All right, my friends, we've established I'm more than qualified than anyone alive to guide you through life's messier moments. Come with Dick and slip headfirst into today's scenario. I want you to close your eyes and picture this for me. No, seriously, especially if you're driving. Close those eyes. Let's make this real. All right, okay, here we go. I know you're ready to hear what I've got up my sleeve. So, without stalling more, let's move on to what you've all been waiting for, the good stuff. Because, my friends, it's time to break the silence one foolproof suggestion at a time. Stick around. This ride is about to get wild. You've just stepped into an elevator, you're sandwiched between two strangers. Maybe one of them smells like day-old fast food. Maybe the other's got a Bluetooth earpiece and thinks he's in a boardroom instead of a metal box. Either way, you're packed in tight. The doors close, and for the next few floors, you're stuck in a silent, airless, claustrophobic hell. There's no escape. The tension is rising faster than the floors. You've got two options. Option 1, stand there like a statue, staring straight ahead, pretending this isn't awkward at all. In fact, everyone loves it. Or option 2, break the silence, but in a way that ensures this elevator ride will be talked about at family dinners, anticipated happy hours, and probably in therapy sessions for years to come. Now, if you're tuning in to BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline, we both know you're not here to play it safe. Oh no. You're here because deep down you crave that awe-inspiring, spine-tingling, blush-inducing chaos that only a well-timed comment or action can deliver. So let's get into the gritty details of this common yet wildly uncomfortable situation. Elevator silence. You know the kind of silence I'm talking about. It's not just any silence. Oh no, this is prime awkward silence, the kind where you can hear the squeak of someone's shoes, the quiet clearing of throats, maybe even someone gently trying to stifle a cough. But no one dares speak. The kind where the weight of every second feels like you're lifting heavy on leg day and you're not even at the gym. This, my Dick Fore enthusiast, is where things get tricky. You're crammed into a metal box, rising or descending on a slow, inevitable journey to your destination, all while pretending that everyone's complete lack of interaction is totally normal. But deep down, you're itching to break that silence. Maybe you want to say something, anything, just to make the tension a little more manageable. But let's be real, most people won't do it. They won't even dare. They're too busy fighting their inner panic, wondering if the person behind them can smell the stress oozing out of their pores. Or worse, if they're about to sneeze in a confined space and commit the ultimate post-COVID public crime. And what do we call this? Ah, yes, the social dance of silence. It's a delicate game, isn't it? Each person standing rigid, their bodies tensely erect, as if they'd been carved out of stone, trying their best to look as uninterested in the situation as possible. You're in close quarters, but everyone's pretending not to notice. I mean, we all know the rules. Don't make eye contact, don't move too quickly, and for the love of all things holy, do not make a sound. But here's the thing, life is too short for boring elevator rides. Why not shake things up a little? Why not take the time to make lifelong friends? We're in this tiny box, packed like sardines. Might as well make it memorable, right? And if you're anything like Dick, you're always looking for ways to spice up the mundane with Dick. Because, let's face it, breaking that silence can lead to some seriously interesting results, especially with Dick in the mix. I mean, think about it. You've got a captive audience. No one's getting off until the doors open, and you've got a good 30 seconds, maybe a minute, to turn this whole awkward situation into something unforgettable. It's almost like foreplay, teasing the moment, building the tension, waiting for the right time to make your move. Let Dick Fore's foreplay guide be your standard. Now, before we dive into the advice, let's talk about the types of people you're likely to encounter on your average elevator ride. Because knowing your audience is half the battle, right? First, we have the upward glancer. You know the type. They step into the elevator and immediately lock eyes with the ceiling or the elevator buttons, as if those numbers lighting up are the only thing keeping them alive. They're fully committed to not making eye contact with you, and they're hoping, praying, you won't break the silence. This one's an easy target. They're not expecting anything to rock their world, which means the moment you open your mouth, they'll be caught off guard, captivated, impressed even. It's perfect. Then there's the close stand. They've got no concept of personal space. They're standing a little too close. Maybe you can feel their breath on the back of your neck, and not in the way you like, or you're both awkwardly brushing shoulders like you're trying to accidentally cuddle. Now, this person is usually in denial about how tight the space is. They won't back off. They'll keep standing there solid as a rock. But we all know, in a small space, the smallest movement can shift the entire dynamic. Next up, we've got the Bluetooth talker. Oh, this one's fun. You know them. They're deep in conversation with someone who isn't there, eyes glazed over as they talk loudly about business deals or what allegedly happened the night before. What they don't realize is that they've just given you the perfect opportunity to step into their conversation and take it in a whole new direction. Finally, we have the nervous sweater. Poor thing. You can almost see the anxiety radiating off them, sweat dripping down their forehead as they desperately try to make themselves invisible. They're doing everything they can to avoid becoming the center of attention. But the second you engage them, it's a wild and unknowingly welcomed ride. All right, now that we've identified the players in this awkward little elevator drama, let's set the scene. You've got your audience. You're in tight quarters. The tension's thick and they're all begging for the silence to continue. But not you. You're a master of disruption, a Dick Fore student, a BonerCoinToken life advice hotline opportunist. You see this moment as an opportunity to make a statement, maybe not the statement they wanted, or maybe they are craving it, we don't know. But definitely it's the one they'll remember. And that's where the fun begins. Because the moment you decide to break the silence, you're taking control of the situation. You're no longer just a bystander, a victim, if you will, in the great social experiment of elevator rides. You're a player. No, you're a king, a goddess, a game changer. Believe me, bro, once you break that silence, things will never be the same again. Now, if you're ready to take this elevator ride to the next level, and I mean literally and figuratively, let's dive into some tried and true techniques that'll have your fellow riders either laughing, questioning their life choices, frantically pressing the button to get off at the next floor, or the most likely outcome, admiring you in a healthy, jealous way. Whatever the outcome, you win. Trust me, bro. These strategies are about to elevate your game. Remember, Dick Fore is giving you Dick's foolproof methods for making Dick friends, while you are not Dick. But Dick is always here, as your personal Dick advisor. Now, breaking the silence one incredible move at a time. But remember, use these techniques wisely, or you might find yourself riding solo on your next trip. Or maybe you use these techniques so you can ride solo. These techniques work both ways. All right, the scene is set. The doors have closed, the tension is rising, and it's time to decide whether you're going to stand there like a stiff board or take control of this situation like the social magician you are. You've got the whole elevator in the palm of your hand, and what you do next will alter their time and space forever. The power is yours. And any Dick could have come up with these, but only you know which Dick this advice from Dick came out of. Your fellow elevator riders? They won't have any clue which Dick touched them, and through you, this Dick will have penetrated their lives, and for that, you make Dick Fore proud. But hey, if you're tuning in to BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline, you're not here to play it safe. No, you're here to turn that awkward elevator ride into a legendary story. So let's dive into Dick Fore's top-tier strategies for breaking that awkward elevator silence. These are moves so smooth, so unexpected, and so hilariously homed into center by Dick that people won't know what hit them. And always remember, when in doubt, go deep. The deeper you go, the more shallow it gets. Okay, let's start with a personal favorite of mine, the hum wiggle. Now this one's an art form. You can't just rush into it. Oh no, this move requires timing. Picture it. You're standing there, hands by your sides, and it's just too quiet. Too quiet. So what do? You take a slow, deep breath, then you gently, deliberately slide your hands into your pockets. And here's the key. You don't stop there. Oh no. You start humming, just a light hum at first. Something familiar but not too obvious. Maybe a little tune they can't quite place. Something like Songbird by Kenny G. It's the perfect song that you can never remember the name of. You want them to be curious, not confused. Then, while the hum is softly vibrating through the silence, you add the wiggle. Now, don't go overboard here. We're not talking about a full shuffle, just a subtle shift of the hips. Left, then right, like you're testing the waters. Let it be slow, deliberate. Let them wonder if you're moving to your own rhythm or if you're just really comfortable in tight spaces. Remember, you are inspiring them. Just don't act like you know you are. Play it cool. Trust me, bro, this move is a game changer. People will glance your way, but they won't know what to do. They'll be too busy wondering if they should join in or stay perfectly still. Either way, the silence, broken, the tension, disrupted. And you're the smoothest operator in that elevator, no doubt about it. You did it. You own them now. That will always work, but Dick Fore knows that not everyone can be like Dick. So here's another strategy that anyone can do. The deep sigh. Now, this one is for those moments when the tension in the elevator's so thick, you could cut it with a knife. It's suffocating. The air feels heavy. You need to release some of that pressure. Here's how you handle it. You wait until the elevator is at least halfway to your floor. Timing is crucial, people. And then, when the moment is just right, you let out the biggest, most dramatic sigh you can muster. Just like that. Loud enough for everyone to hear, but not so loud that you sound like you're in distress. It's got to be just right. You need to practice this in the mirror before trying it, but it's worth the time spent. Anyways, let it linger in the air like the weight of the world has been lifted from your shoulders in one smooth exhale. And here's the kicker. Once everyone turns to look at you, and they will, you flash them. You flash them quickly with a slow, knowing smile, like you've just released years of pent-up frustration. Maybe give a little shrug that implies something like, "What can I say? I'm just carrying a lot of baggage." I know it's a simple dick move, amateur dick move, but you'll be surprised how effective this is, though. It's like you've given them permission to breathe again. Some of them might even join you with their own sighs, creating a symphony of simultaneous and tantalizing releases. And just like that, the tension, gone, the silence, broken. You've turned an elevator ride into a collective sigh of relief. You're welcome. Sometimes, on very rare occasions, when the two top dick moves aren't enough to satisfy the situation, we must go in deeper. Once you've committed, you just have to keep going. This one's for the brave souls out there, the ones who really want to leave a lasting dick mark. I call this move, narrate the ride. Picture it. The elevator doors close, the silence sets in, and just when everyone thinks they're in for a quiet, uneventful ride, you start narrating like you're David Attenborough doing a nature documentary. You don't even know who that is, but as soon as I said it, you know exactly what Dick meant.
And so, the elevator descends, its passengers silent, awaiting their fate. Will they make it to floor 12 unscathed? Or will this ride take a turn no one expected?
You've got to commit to it. Keep the narration going, but keep it subtle. You don't want to sound like you're hosting a game show. Think more mysterious. As the ride continues, you can add little comments like,
"Ah, yes, the majestic silence of the elevator. So rare in today's bustling world."
Maybe throw in a glance toward one of your fellow riders as if they're part of this epic story you're wielding. Bro, trust Dick. This one gets reactions. Some people might laugh. Some might be too stunned to speak. But the beauty of it is, you're no longer just a passive participant in the awkward silence. You've taken control again. You've turned the elevator into your own personal stage, and everyone else? Well, they're just along for the ride. Puppets that can't play without you. I know you can see the value in these ideas, and frankly, those are all you need to get through any elevator situation. But Dick Fore has more. So, if you really want to throw your fellow riders forcefully into an unexpected relationship, try the accidental whisper. This one's perfect if you're feeling bold, or even just semi-robust. Here's how it works. You wait until everyone's settled into the silence, and then you lean slightly to the side and whisper, just loud enough for someone near you to hear. But here's the trick. What you whisper has to be completely random and slightly unsettling. Nothing too weird, but just enough to make them question what's going on. Maybe you say,
"The pigeons, they know too much. They are always listening."
Or maybe something like,
"What or who is a Dick Fore?"
and then just smile. Now, you don't have to explain yourself. In fact, the key is that you don't explain. You just drop that whisper and go back to standing there like nothing happened. The beauty of this move is that you've planted a seed in their mind. For the rest of the ride and their lives, they'll be wondering, what does that even mean? And you, my friend, will have successfully broken the silence in the most confusing and hilarious way possible. But, more importantly, you have established dominance without dominating. Like a dominatrix dominates Dick Fore, when Dick is not submitting to the dominating dominatrix that Dick loves to have around Dick. In a short Dick statement, you have won. And finally, for the boldest of the bold, we have the too personal comment. Now, I only recommend this move for those who are truly ready to embrace the chaos, because once you go down this path, there's no turning back. Here's how you do it, mid-ride. When the silence is thick and everyone's minding their own business, you casually drop a comment that's just a little too personal. Nothing offensive, but something that makes them wonder about you. Something like, I always get a little nervous around floor 7, and then just trail off. Don't finish the thought. Let them fill in the blanks. Or maybe something like, you ever get that feeling like someone's watching you even when you're alone, and then just look around? Bro, listen to and trust Dick. This one leaves them thinking. It breaks the silence, sure, but it also leaves a lasting Dick mark or impression. They'll be telling their friends about the weird elevator guy for years. Are you going to make these people into your friends? No, but that doesn't matter because you aren't on a work elevator using this. You are on an elevator in Ocean City, riding up to a condo you rented for way too much money with people who are doing the exact same thing. You will never see them again. Or will you? You probably will because you are all there for a week, but when you're riding solo and the elevator doors open on their floor and those people are standing there ready to ride down, but they see you, the sweetest words that any elevator rider can hear are expelled by them. We'll get the next one. That's called victory, my friends. This whole time you've been thinking, Dick, these moves sound risky. And you're absolutely right, they are. But remember, life's too short for boring elevator rides. Why settle for awkward silence when you can leave a Dick mark or impression without ever having to touch anyone's personal space? The key to all of these moves is confidence. You've got to own the moment. You've got to own those people. Whether you're humming, wiggling, sighing, narrating, or whispering something bizarre, the only way to make it work is to act like you've done it 1,000 times before. If they think you're serious, they won't know how to react. And that's the beauty of it. You've turned an ordinary, uncomfortable moment into something unforgettable. They will always remember and tell the tale of that elevator master who changed their lives forever for the better. In this way, you will have immortalized yourself, because their children will tell their children, who will tell their children, and so on. One day in the far future, season 545 of Ancient Aliens will share this story. They won't give you the credit for changing the direction of civilization's elevator rides because it was aliens. But that doesn't matter. You're still immortalized. I know you've got your own stories. Have you ever broken the silence in an elevator in a way that made everyone remember your name or your face or the police incident that resulted from your instigation and kidnapping? Maybe you tried something bold, and it didn't quite land the way you expected. I want to hear about it. Send me your best and worst elevator moments, and we'll break them down right here on BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline. Remember, the deeper you go, the more shallow it gets. And that's right, we're driving it headfirst into the deep end of the weird pool where all the ridiculously awkward stories from real-life listeners dwell. And Dick thanks you. You guys never disappoint. Let's face it, awkwardness is the universal language. Whether you're in a fancy elevator in some high-rise building or crammed into a sketchy one that looks like it's barely hanging on by a thread, we've all had moments where we wish we could just melt into the floor. But here at BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline, we don't run from those moments. Oh no, we embrace them, we live for them, and we plan for them. We are ready, unlike these examples. I've got some absolute gold from listeners like you who've had their fair share of elevator mishaps. Let's see what kind of trouble you've gotten into. And hey, if I like what I hear, maybe I'll throw in some extra life advice to make sure your next elevator ride is even more unforgettable. Let's kick things off with a story from a listener who goes by the name Elevator Enthusiast, which is already a good sign. Anyone calling themselves an elevator enthusiast is someone I want to hear from. Here's what they wrote.
Mr. Dick Fore, first off, I want to thank you for being the most stable dick in my life. I constantly think about this dick, and every other dick just seems to fall short.
Well, thank you, elevator enthusiast. I'm glad you're able to recognize the pristine dicks from the lower sketchy dicks that haven't been around as much as this dick. Anyway, let's continue with his write-in. He continues.
I was in a packed elevator at work, on my way up to the 17th floor. Everyone was dead silent, and I could feel the tension in the air. Out of nowhere, I just farted. I wasn't even trying to hold it in. It just happened. The worst part? No one said a word. They all just pretended like it didn't happen. But I could feel their judgment radiating toward me. I spent the rest of the ride wishing I could disappear.
He ended there. Oh man, elevator enthusiast, that's too good. And you know what? I get it. Sometimes the body just does its own thing, and who are we to stop it? But the fact that no one reacted, oof, that's rough. It's like everyone's in silent agreement to pretend the most human thing ever didn't just happen. But here's where you went wrong, elevator enthusiast. What you should have done was own it. Next time something like that happens, don't let the silence swallow you whole. Instead, take charge of the situation. So you farted? Perfect. Immediately follow it up with something like, oh, that's just a little preview of the lunch special downstairs. Highly recommend. Or if you want to be even more bold, turn to the person next to you and say, I've got another one coming. Want to place bets on how loud it'll be? You've got to turn that moment into a conversation starter. Don't let those people act like they've never sharted. They all have. All of them. All of us. Everyone listening right now has sharted in their pants. And socially, that is considered worse than an innocent fart in a confined elevator. So, who are they to judge you? Suddenly, it's no longer about embarrassment. It's about entertainment. Sure, they'll still remember the aroma, but now they'll also remember that you weren't afraid to turn it into something glorious, something worth remembering and growing from. And hey, they are probably jealous that they didn't have the balls to do it first. But rest assured, they will have their day. And you, Mr. Elevator Enthusiast, will be officially honored because of it, even if it comes out as a silent honor. All right, let's move on to someone claiming to be longtime listener. They identify themselves as Sneaky Steve. Already love the name. Let's see what Steve's got for us.
Dick, I've got a confession to make. Sometimes when I'm in an elevator, I accidentally stare at people. Like, I don't mean to, but I just zone out. And suddenly, I'm making intense eye contact with a total stranger. One time, I was in an elevator with a really attractive woman, and I must have zoned out while looking at her. Because the next thing I knew, she was staring back at me like I'd been caught doing something wrong. It was awkward, to say the least. What should I have done?
Okay, Steve, first off, you're not alone. Remember that. You've fallen into one of the classic traps of elevator riding, the accidental stare. I mean, I get it. You're just standing there, minding your own business. The numbers above the door are no longer doing it for you, and your eyes drift. Suddenly, you're locked in an awkward staring contest you didn't sign up for. It's like you're playing chicken with someone's face, and in your case, a subjectively attractive face. Steve, you've got to take control of that situation before it controls you. Next time you accidentally make eye contact in an elevator, don't look away. No, no, no. That's amateur hour. Never forget, Dick Fore, and that you are a dick enthusiast that strives to apply all of the dick moves that you can take in. So, instead, lean into it. I'm talking full-on commitment. Here's what you do. The moment you realize you've been caught staring, you give a slow, deliberate nod. Just a tiny one. Nothing too obvious. Just enough to make them wonder what that nod means. And then, this is key, you smile. But not a big, toothy grin. Just a subtle, knowing smile. Like you know something they don't. Like you've been planning this moment all day or your whole life. It truly doesn't matter. Stay in control and use what you've learned as a dick technique to attract interested attention. And then this. If they're still staring back at you after that, oh, you've won. You're in their head now. They'll be thinking about that smile for the rest of the day, wondering if they should have nodded back. You've created a mystery, an elevator enigma. And the best part? You didn't have to say a single word. Power move, Steve. Power move. You've leveled up. You're a little god in that moment for you, but forever for her. Okay, let me see here. All right, folks, this next one's from Personal Space Invader. Man, I love when people mix on topic with classic video games. Well played, Personal Space Invader. And if the name is anything to go by, we're in for a ride.
Dick, I'm one of those people who doesn't really notice when I'm standing too close to someone. I don't mean to. It just happens. So, one day, I'm in a crowded elevator, and I'm standing pretty close to this guy in front of me. I guess I didn't realize how close it was, because when the elevator jolted, I accidentally bumped into him. Not just a small bump, like full body, Madden 2020, contact. He turned around and gave me the dirtiest look, and I just froze. What should I have done?
Again, great play on video games. Personal Space Invader. You really went for it, huh? That's the kind of bump that makes you question every life choice you've made up to that point. But hey, no judgment here. We've all been there. Well, maybe not that close, but close enough. I'll admit it. I've had little dick bumps into other guys. And I said to myself, Dick, wrong place, wrong time. Dick needs to keep Dick to himself. No need for Dick to get Dick on other guys. I mean, I take care of myself. I smell nice. I primp well. But most guys still don't want a well-primped, nice-smelling dick touching them uninvited. But for you, Personal Space Invader, well, let me think. All right, here's how you handle that next time, because you can't let a situation like that just hang in the air. The moment you touch someone like that, whether it's a little nudge or, in your case, a full-on body check, you've got to take control. People, followers of Dick, please, you have to be in control, like Dick is in control. Dick is king. Dick is stalwart and solid. Dick can perform anyway, at any time, in any situation. Let Dick guide you in everything you do. I can't say it enough, this Dick right here, think about this. Dick, every time you need a way out or a way in, utilize Dick in every situation imaginable. I don't know about other Dicks you come across on a daily or nightly basis. You might come on to Dicks you really want to have more interactions with at a bar. Or perhaps there are different conventions that attract a lot of Dicks, and you choose to attend in search of the perfect Dick. A Dick you can just attach yourself to and be comfortable with. That Dick is right here, coming at you weekly, sometimes daily, just depends on how tired this Dick gets. In another short Dick statement, this Dick is available to you 24/7. But to answer your Dick query, here's what you do. Immediately after the bump, instead of apologizing like a normal person, you go with, hey, if we're getting this close, should we exchange numbers? Now, I know what you're thinking, that's bold. But listen, once you've made that much physical contact with a stranger, you've already crossed a line. You might as well take it to the next level, and this approach is a double whammy. It is now their fault for almost tackling you, and you're simply responding with kindness. At that point, you have become a true example of an elevator riding master. If they're too stunned to respond, that's when you throw in a wink. Just one. Nothing too crazy, just a little, yeah, I did that kind of wink. At that point, they'll either laugh it off or they'll be so confused that they won't even know how to react. Either way, you've shifted the power dynamic. And really, this is exactly what elevator rides are all about. Power. We have so many more examples and questions that people sent in, but we can cover them another day. And man, you guys are really out there living wild lives in these elevators, huh? Between the sharts, the stairs, and the alleged accidental body slams, I've got to say, I'm impressed. It takes a special kind of person to turn an elevator ride into an adventure. And all of you are clearly on the right path. Your setups are incredible. Your follow-throughs are a little limp, but with some practice, you can learn to come at those targets with a confident and firm tool from your box of dicks. Well, tools. Dick tools, if you will. I like that. Everyone needs to have their own box of dick tools. And listen, if you're out there thinking, wow, my elevator story is way worse than these, well then, what are you waiting for? Send it to me. I want to hear all the cringy, awkward, and downright bizarre elevator moments you've had. Bonus points if you were somehow able to turn the situation around. Or, if you made it way worse, because let's be real, that's the funnest part. You can slide into my DMs on Twitter or Instagram, or if you're old school, shoot me an email at youdon'tknow@dickknowsallaboutdick.com. Trust me, there's no story too awkward for this show. I thrive on it. Well, Dick lovers, it's been another wild ride here at BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline. We've taken a deep dive into the awkward abyss of elevator silence, and I think we've all learned a little something today. Namely, that no situation is too weird, too awkward, or too tight of a space for a little dick life advice to make it unforgettable. I mean, who knew elevator rides could be so exciting, right? Whether you're throwing out a hum and wiggle, narrating the ride like it's the latest Netflix thriller, or getting just a little too personal with a full body bump, I think we can all agree. Life's too short for boring, silent elevator rides. If you're going to be stuck in a metal box with strangers, you might as well make it interesting. And hey, maybe next time you find yourself in one of these moments, you'll remember a little piece of advice from yours truly, Dick Big Thoughts, Short Solutions 4, and decide to take the plunge into the awkward with full confidence. Just remember, there's no turning back once you start narrating the elevator like a nature documentary. But hey, if you're listening to this show, I'm guessing turning back was never part of your plan. So, to all my awkward warriors out there, remember, life is full of weird, uncomfortable moments. But if you lean into them with confidence and maybe just a little bit of life advice from yours truly, you'll turn those moments into stories that'll make everyone laugh, especially you. And as always, don't forget the golden rule here at BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline. The deeper you go, the more shallow it gets. So go deep, my friends. Go really deep. If you like what you've heard, like and subscribe to this Boner Coin Token Productions YouTube channel. This is Dick Big Thoughts, Short Solutions 4A signing off. I'll catch you next time. Same bad time, same live channel.
BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline, we're here for you. We're here for you. BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline, we're here for you.